though.
Right.
There's always a delay. It's okay. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Howdy.
It's been a little while since we've been live on the interwebs, but
2 weeks.
yeah,
Two
2
whole
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah, last week we were busy with a school trip. We went to Haapavilla.
You can scroll
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
on the Facebook page. You can see that.
Yeah, see pictures from that. Been busy?
I've been busy.
How have you been, Matt? Yeah, how have you been?
I've been busy. I mean, July and August was pretty busy. So I'm back
Yeah.
to normal now.
Yeah,
Well,
we-
normal-ish.
Yeah, I guess we had lots of students who are coming for school holidays and just an interesting group, a couple interesting groups, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So a couple groups from Japan and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So,
Yeah.
which is always fun.
Yeah. To meet some new faces.
Yeah, every summer, I meet new faces, new people. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
So?
I guess today we're doing words.
Words with
Words.
friends.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Words with friends is
That's a game.
Oh
We can
yeah,
talk about that later.
if you play Words with Friends, but if you study English, you may have noticed that English has a lot of words, a lot of words.
Mark and I just did an
Yeah.
English
Yeah, we just did an
vocabulary test.
English vocab test, and I can actually show you my result. Matt did better than I did, but if you look at my result, I got 20,000 English words.
20,300. Don't
20,300, and it actually gives a little explanation on the bottom. It says, for native speakers have around 20 to 35,000 words. So just like you in your native language, you know a ton of words in your native language because you grew up with that language. For us, we know a lot of English words, between 20 and 35,000, because we are native speakers. If you're a foreign learner, like most of our students, all of our students are foreign learners, except you, I guess you're Singapore, yeah.
We have no native speaking.
No native speaking students,
Yeah,
right?
No native.
No native speakers. Yeah, no native speakers, but but our foreign learners, they get around between 6,000 and 9,000, right? Yeah, even for our better foreign speakers, right? They still have not that 20,000, right?
2,000.
Yeah, even you can even go to this website. It's called testyourvocab.com, and you can check like how many words do you know in English.
How many words do you know?
How many words? So back to us. Yeah, we're.
Well, Mark's using a lot of hand gestures, but nobody could see you. So I was worried.
You were sad?
Yeah, I was
Like
sad
that,
for you.
like even my mother used to tease me because I would be on the telephone and I would like wave goodbye.
Bye.
I'd be like, bye. I'm like, they're not here. They're not here.
When you were a kid?
When I was younger, I'm still awkward, but whenever I was young, I used to be really awkward with phone calls. So that was one way I tried to connect with phone calls. That's one of the
That's kinda
reasons.
cool. Maybe
yeah.
you were like preemptively getting ready for all these video calls and
Yeah,
stuff like
getting
that.
ready for acting, right? Because phone calls are very unnatural for a lot of students because they can't see the other person.
Very difficult.
Yeah,
Phone call is difficult.
yeah. But yeah, okay, but that's another topic.
We digress.
We digress. Back to today, we were just going to talk a little bit about some good strategies to learn vocabulary.
Or build your
Yeah, or build
vocabulary, learn
vocabulary.
vocabulary.
All right?
So this came up. Basically, I teach a lot of IELTS,
Okay.
TOEIC or IELTS students, and everybody knows that IELTS has listening, reading, writing, and speaking.
Okay.
And one of the main things that they're always looking for are kind of these key words, key vocabulary words. So if you look at a task 1 writing, for example, where you have to look at a graph, they want you to use words like rose dramatically or decreased slightly or climbed, went up, right? So it's not so much testing your English fluency, but more your English, how much English you have, how much vocabulary you have. And the speaking test is the same. And then if your vocabulary is good, then your reading will be good, and your listening will be good. So,
Yeah,
so basically,
so
my biggest thing for my IELTS students is vocabulary, vocabulary, vocabulary. build your vocabulary. And if you're always using verbs, it's also not a good thing. So we need to use a variety of different parts of speech. So if we use a verb, we can also use the noun of that verb. So we can rewrite the sentence differently using the different part of speech. And if we can show the tester that we can use these things differently at different times and in the right way, then we'll probably get a high score.
Yeah, so that being able to be flexible with the language and to use all those different forms. And Matt actually created a worksheet,
Well,
a very, very basic slide where you can actually see an example word where most of you know the word encourage. You might have heard that before in class. Maybe your teacher encourages you to study English, right?
To do your homework.
Yeah, you should do your homework. You should study English, right? That's encourage, our verb, right? He encouraged me. But encourage also has all of the different parts of speech, right? Not only verb, we have the adverb, we have the noun, the adjective. And when you learn the word encourage, you should try to learn all of the different parts of speech. Not just the verb, all of the different kinds, all of the different ways to use that idea of encourage.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Matt again broke this down. We have encourage, but you can also do something, an action. You can do it encouragingly, right? He spoke to me encouragingly.
Yes.
Spoke to me encouragingly.
You can do it, right?
Yeah, or the noun form, right? Encouragement from your teacher is important, right? Right? The teacher should encourage you, verb, right? Encouragement, noun. And then if I say my teacher is encouraging, or he's an encouraging teacher, that's our adjective, giving us information about our noun or our person, right? So all of those, right? Same core word, encourage, but we have many ways to use them, many ways to use that word. Yeah.
Exactly,
So,
and we take that one word, encourage, and it allows us to come up with 4 or 5 or 6 of the same word or different word. Of course, we can have a look at the definition, and I prefer to use, or my students to use, a learner's dictionary.
Yeah.
I think Mark uses the Oxford Learner's Dictionary.
I can make that appear as well. Actually, for this one I pulled up the Learner's Dictionary from Merriam-Webster.
Yeah, this is the one I recommend usually. I don't know why, but just one of the ones I recommend. So, Mark, you can type encourage in there.
Yeah, we can do encourage. And here it is. Yeah, here we have a nice little breakdown. You can even listen if you want to, right? You can listen to hear what the word sounds like. This dictionary is only giving you the American version, but some dictionaries will give you the accent from like an American version, a British version. You can hear those.
Right.
Yeah. And then, the easy definition of encourage.
Yeah, so if we use a normal dictionary, or if we use a learner's dictionary, the learner's dictionary will give us just an easier definition. So basically here, the definition for encourage would be to give somebody support, or to give somebody courage. Encourage, to give somebody courage, right? You can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next step would be to look at synonyms, and a synonym is basically a word that has the same meaning, right? So
here.
Support or motivate has a very similar meaning to encourage, right? We can also look at the antonym, which means the opposite of the word. So encourage and discourage, okay? Encourage and discourage. So he encouraged me to study hard. He discouraged me from participating in the Olympics. I don't know.
Or losing the race was very discouraging.
Discouraging, right? So Mark's using that as an adjective.
Yeah, well, there's my adjective one. Like losing was discouraging. Yeah. Or I was discouraged. You could do I was discouraged. Yeah, the adjective. Yeah. So should update
Right.
in a sec. Yeah, so it'll update in a second on my computer once
Right.
once it loads.
My teacher was encouraging.
Yeah, there it
So
is.
we can use,
My teacher was encouraging.
a variety of different.
And you can almost think of this like a game. Try to think of how many different ways can I use this word? How can I use the grammar? How can I use the vocabulary I've learned? And this is a great thing to take from your classes, right? Whenever you're with your teacher in class, you learn a bunch of new words every single lesson from the textbook. So take those words, or especially the ones you find difficult, and try to use them in many different ways. That will really help you to develop your fluency.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, the sound is too soft, apparently.
Oh, it sounds too quiet. Maybe we'll make it a little louder.
Thank you, Khan.
Yeah, thank you, Khan. Yeah, hopefully, maybe it's a little better now. We'll see. Too soft.
Or it's too noisy.
Now it's maybe it's too loud now.
Get out of my
But
ears.
okay, it was a little too soft.
Yeah. So basically, that's one thing. So I always encourage. That's funny.
Encourage. They're good.
I encourage my students to do this. I encourage my students to build this list, and just as you go, 1 word a day, 2 words a day, 3 words a day.
Yeah.
It's very cliche, but learning English is really a marathon. It takes forever. You have to do it forever. Once you stop, it goes away.
your muscles atrophy.
Your
muscles weaken.
Atrophy.
Oh, atrophy,
Nice.
weaken.
Difficult word.
Yeah. Slowly die.
Slowly die.
Slowly die.
But basically, it doesn't have to be a lot. It just has to be a little every day. Just a little bit every day. 10 words, 5 words, 2 words. If we do 2 words and we break it down using this kind of vocabulary builder, 2 words becomes 8 words, becomes 10 words. If we look at encourage, we have the verb, the adverb, the adjective, the noun, 2 synonyms, and an antonym.
Yeah.
So that's already 8 words just from 1 word that you learned.
Yeah.
So
So if you do that with 1 word a day, 10 words a day, that's
10 words a
Your-
day,
your
1 year, that's 3,650
Yeah.
words.
and you'll definitely have a much stronger foundation.
Yeah, and vocabulary is key. Vocabulary is really, really the key. So reading, listening, writing, speaking, it improves everything. It
Yeah.
improves all aspects. So I always tell my students to focus on building
Yeah,
vocabulary.
yeah, it's all there, and especially those example sentences as well. That's a great way for you to also work on some of your grammar, where you can take those words you learned. Can I put them in the grammar structure that I learned in class? Right? If you did like I can, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I can encourage him. He can encourage me. That was from my elementary class.
or if you did
Or-
present perfect or
Yeah,
something like
right.
that. He has encouraged me many times.
Yeah, his encouragement has been helpful. Yeah, has been helpful for me, right? So things like that. You try to use the patterns we learn. Try to use the different forms we've shown you on this list. Right?
You can do the present, the past participle, the ing form, right? Oh,
Yeah.
he is encouraging
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
You can. This is just my basic idea of how I would build vocabulary, but you can play with this. You can do it yourself. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Have a notebook.
Yeah.
You don't have to use Google Drive or Excel.
You can have a piece of paper. It's fine. You can do it whatever way works for you.
How do you're studying Japanese? How do you learn vocabulary?
Well, I've used a bunch of different apps in the past.
Okay, apps.
So, I'm sure some of you also have like a phone application you use, or an internet application you use to learn. For Japanese, I had the kanji learning application that I used for a long time, where it gave me the picture of the Chinese character, and then I would have to write the word based on the character, because that's a very important thing if you're learning Chinese.
Yep.
Or learning Japanese, you have to be able to recognize these Chinese characters. So I built vocabulary based on these Chinese characters. English is a little bit different. We don't have a character, but we do have that, like, would you say the core word or
The root.
Root. There it is. Root. The root word. You get the root word, like encourage, and then you find all of the different ways to use it.
So I think you were saying you used to work at Learning Lab. They would do
Yeah.
a tree, right?
They would do like branches
tree.
where you'd get the core word, and like Matt said, we do the synonyms, we do antonyms, we do a definition, and then especially younger learners, we would draw a picture, right? You would draw a picture.
Picture. Actually,
Yeah,
drawing
something like that.
pictures. Drawing pictures is a great way.
Yeah.
Great way to.
If you're not into drawing pictures like Matt does, you can do example sentences. But especially some vocabulary, especially if you're a newer student, pictures are a great way to go. Especially for your memory, to remember.
Yeah, beginner student using pictures is very very good. Totally agree.
Yeah. Or what is it called? Mnemonics? Mnemonics, right?
Mnemonics.
Yeah, mnemonics. So like, if you say my teacher encouraged me, he gave me courage, right? Or the N. What is it? I don't know how to do this on the spot.
A mnemonic device
Yeah.
is a way that helps you remember. So it can be a song, it can be an acronym. It's like the months of the year, like January, February, March, April, May, June, July. These ones have 31 days. These ones have 31 days. This is just a mnemonic
a way
device.
to remember. So
A
there are many ways to remember, but
August. August?
Yeah,
August. Yeah, August. 31 days.
yeah,
Tomorrow. Tomorrow's Teacher's Day, by the way,
yeah. Tomorrow's Teacher's Day.
in Singapore.
Okay. Now I was thinking of just funny ways I remember Japanese, in Japanese the word kani is crab. So you could say, can he lift the crab? Kanhi? Kani? Right? So you can also try to think in your language versus English, is there a funny phrase or a funny way you can remember the sound of the word, right?
Yeah,
Right?
okay, I get
I guess
that.
that's not a mnemonic, it's a different kind of...
No, I think it is.
Is it
That's
mnemonic?
a mnemonic. I think a
Yeah.
mnemonic device.
But for
is the same
Japanese,
thing,
they use that a lot for learning the characters, right? Where you tell a story about the character to try to remember the pieces.
so
of
there's
the
like a
character.
famous,
Yeah.
like Chinesey.
Chinesey, like Chinesey.
Chinesey.
Yeah.
Chinesey is a way to learn Chinese
Yeah,
characters.
or even the visual description, the visual depictions, like, I'm drawing it the wrong way, but if you do like mouth in Chinese, it's just a box, right? So what you can do is you can draw, right? You can draw the mouth, especially for children, right? They know that this character, we know its mouth, we get rid of the teeth, rid of the eyes, oh, there's my mouth.
There's your mouth.
Or I'll do the other one, the tree, right?
Tree. That looks like a
Tree.
tree.
It looks like a tree, but you can even add, right? You can even draw a little bit more, color it in. Oh, it's a tree.
An orange
Right?
tree.
An orange tree. An orange tree.
Not an orange tree.
I have no
but an
idea
orange
how to
tree.
write. I guess I have no idea how to write orange in Chinese, but
Me
that's right because Chinese and Japanese are very visual. That's an easy way to remember. English, again, you can draw a picture. You can even think about someone you know. Like if you have a friend, he's very kind, he's very friendly, he's very smart. You can think of a person to try to remember the words, right? Anything to get it to connect with something you already know.
Association, yeah.
Yeah,
You associate to
association.
an experience or to another person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're getting deep.
psychological now.
Yeah.
Hi, there's
Yeah. Oh, now we're on 3.
3 people watching.
It's like
One of them is me. So
Yeah.
3 minus 2 is
Yeah.
3 minus 1 is 2.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
there's 1.
now there's. I'm watching. Yeah.
If you're there, if you are watching, type. How do you learn vocabulary? How do you remember vocabulary?
Yeah.
Do you think learning vocabulary is important?
Yeah. If you have any strategies, any ways that you learn, feel free to type below. Tell us. Right. Your favorite application. If you have or even show me in class. If you have an interesting way that you learn vocabulary, come up to Matt or I. Right. Come and see us near the front desk. We're around here all the time. So.
I live here.
Yeah, we pretty much live here. So you can just show us in class, give us a link to a website you like, I'd be interested to hear about your favorite way to learn a lot of new words, right?
Yeah, I put 2 links in the bottom.
Okay, nice.
Duolingo and Memrise.
Yeah.
The last thing you were talking about earlier was a good way to learn English vocabulary is to think, and we've talked about this before, but
Yeah.
to think about the words that you often say
Yeah.
in your language.
Yeah, I would call it like your personal vocabulary. So throughout the day, what words do you hear yourself saying? So maybe it's just 5 words every day. Think of 5 words in your native language. So if you're Chinese, Japanese, Korean, whatever, right? Think of 5 words that you use often in your language, and think: do I know that word in English? Do I know that word in English? And then just make the list: 5 words, and then
Coffee.
find the English. Yeah, like coffee, coffee, dessert,
Phone.
appetizer, right? Or maybe not appetizer, but phone,
That's a good word.
blog, right? Just think about words that come up during your day, and then try to find the English version. I watched a video about this, and the girl gave an example of like skyscraper, tall building. She knew skyscraper in English. Like for English speakers, okay, I know skyscraper in English, the tall building. Do I know that word in Chinese? Do I know that word in Japanese? Actually, I don't. So
I
would have to look.
I would
Yeah.
probably just say like Takai Biru,
Takai Biru, yeah.
tall building.
I can cheat. I'll ask the front desk. I'll be like, what's skyscraper?
Tall
Yeah.
building.
Yeah. Takai Biru, yeah, maybe. Or,
No, I'm assuming there's
Yeah.
a word, but that's
Yeah, there's
but that's how
probably a word.
I would cheat, right?
yeah, you could cheat.
I think a lot of beginner students
Students.
would not cheat,
Yeah.
but I mean just
You can just,
hack.
yeah, you describe a more complicated word,
Right.
which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's another way. Just think about your favorite words or words you often use, phrases you often use, and ask us or look online. Try to find the English version.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So kind of last thing
Yeah.
would be, my challenge to you is
Challenge.
like 5 words a day. Just try
Yeah.
to learn 5 words a day.
Mhm.
It's nothing. It takes 5 minutes. 5
Yeah.
minutes a day.
Yeah.
5 words, 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And man, in 1 month, 2 months, you're gonna see your English will have
Yeah.
improved.
Yeah, and it should be,
5 words a day.
especially if you have a notebook or online. Just look through all the words you've done before. Do a quick revision. This word, this word, this word. Oh, and then my new words. And if you do that, revise, add, revise, add, revise, add. You're going to impress us a lot, right?
You're saying revise.
Yeah.
You're
I'm-
becoming British.
Because I saw it in the textbook 2 days ago. So, but yeah, you can in America, I would say you review the words you've added, and then add more words.
Mark's becoming British.
I am becoming British. My spelling is changing. My word use is changing.
It's a good thing. Go back to the root
Tragedy.
of the language.
Tragedy.
English.
Yeah.
English comes from England, buddy.
Yeah. I think we should be versatile. We should be able to use more than one. Right?
Versatile.
Yeah.
Versatility.
Versatility. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I think that's that's it. And I guess that's it for us. So we'll see you next time, guys.
Next
have
Thursday.
have a wonderful weekend, and
Same time, same place.
yeah, we'll see you again soon.
Yep.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.